just like to explain what went on inside Day One just now, and the commotion that was caused. Basically, I'm raising a point on Constitution. Under our Federal Constitution 161, I reproduced to you. The relevant part is 161 bracket 1 and 2. No act of parliament terminating or restricting the use of the English language for any purposes mentioned in close bracket 2 to 5 of Article 152, which is irrelevant at the moment for the matter concerned, shall come into operation as regards the use of English language in any case mentioned in clause 2 of the article until 10 years after Malaysia Day. All right, the purpose is okay. My point is that if there is an act passed to restrict the Member of Parliament from Sabah and Sarawak to use English within the 10 years, all right, that act will not be operative, but that act will be operative after the 10-year period. However, as it is now, there is no such act existed passed. No act that I know of to restrict. As such, the implied rights of Sabah and Sarawak MPs to speak English in the House is preserved. All right, you can pass an act to restrict. That act will come into operative. If such an act exists, it will come into operative 10 years after the formation of Malaysia. But if there's no such act, that means that the rights to use English in the House will continue until such an act is passed. All right, so I did mention also the closest that come to it will be the National Language Act. National Language Act. However, the whole thing is that the National Language Act is not operative in Sarawak because under the Section 1 of the National Language Act, right, this act shall come into force in the state of Sabah and Sarawak on such dates as the respective state authorities may by enactment of the legislature of the respective states appoint and different dates may be appointed for the coming into force of different provision of this act in those states. All right, so far as I know, the state assembly has not passed any law to has not enacted any law to make the National Language Act operative in Sarawak. All right, I don't know about the position in Sabah. Okay, maybe a Sabah MP can enlighten on that. But as far as Sarawak is concerned, no such act has been passed in Sarawak. Therefore, National Language Act does not apply. All right, the Constitution is quite clear. All right, and there's no act to prohibit or restrict any of the Sarawak MPs to speak English in this House. So we should not unnecessarily restrict ourselves. I mean, I feel it's regrettable that, I mean, coming from Bintulu, who is also a Sarawak MP, who acted so strangely this morning. All right, he was so angry about when I talk about this right of Sarawak. As I said in my opening address, that the rights, privileges of Sabah and Sarawak has very often been forgotten, neglected, or sometimes even simply brushed aside. And it's not about whether, you know, whether this is like what Bintulu say. Oh, you talk about the matter, the Rakyat's matter. This is the whole state's matter. So I think we have every right to uphold that, uphold the constitution position of Sabah and Sarawak. And I mean, and also there must be an act. My position is that because of the specific mention of the rights of MP of Sabah and Sarawak to speak English in this House, all right, any other law that do not specifically mention about that will not affect these rights. All right, the legal maxim, which I have not had the chance to mention it in the House, is what you call expressio unius est exclusio alterius. It's a Latin legal maxim. All right, this is widely accepted in the court of law in our country. That words means that the express mention of one thing excludes all others. All right, which is when items are listed, anything not explicitly stated in the list is assumed not to be included. So since the Constitution has expressly mentioned about the rights of Sabah and Sarawak MPs to speak English in the House, therefore, any other act, even National Language Act, if it has been extended to Sabah and Sarawak, by the operation of this provision, this legal maxim, that act will not have the effect of restricting our MPs, Sabah Sarawak MPs, right to speak English in the House, unless there is an act specifically providing that the MPs of Sabah and Sarawak should not speak English in the House, unless with the speaker's permission. All right, so the question is, that's what the speaker said, dengan izin or not. All right, this is not a matter of dengan izin or not. I think this is a matter of rights. All right, it's not something that it depends on the discretion of the speaker. All right, we have no intention we have no intention to lower the position of Bahasa Malaysia. All right, or to degrade Bahasa Malaysia. Okay, with no intention, but simply is that this is the right of Sabah and Sarawak, of Sarawak in particular now. Speaking, and since this is the right, and this is provided in the Constitution, I think we should uphold the Constitution, the spirit of the Constitution. All right, if the speaker can find any law prohibiting the use of English by MP from Sabah and Sarawak in the House, and if they can convince me the position is otherwise, I welcome it. I'm raising a point. A constitutional point. All right, and hope that this constitutional point, well, if the research shows that I'm correct, then, well, it should be practiced in this House. All right, this is a House of it is the highest legislative body in this country, and this is where the Constitution is passed, and we should uphold the constitutional provision. Thank you. All right, any question?
What is the sudden need to raise this point? Was there any reason?
There's no sudden need, but just that, since we found out, I've done some research on it, and then I feel that this is a position, all this while it has been neglected, so I just take this opportunity to bring it out, yeah.
But has there been any time any one of the Sarawak MPs when they are speaking in the day one in English, were there any time?
I think all this while, when you want to speak English, you just use the word dengan izin. It will be allowed, all right? That I have no qualms about it. I do not quarrel about it. All right. Just now, when I started, I just raising a point academically and trying to verify a point of law. All right, in the angle of this, in the Constitution perspective. All right, so but somehow Bintulu, something got into his brain, and then he started to act abnormally. So the whole thing went hurhala, So that's like, yeah, this is.
So I mean, so you're saying that now the Sarawak and Sabah MPs, if they want to raise any point in English, they do not need to.
As I understand, yes, as I understand, this is as of rights, but it is subject to, the speaker's further research to disprove, to prove otherwise. Otherwise, yeah, this is my interpretation of it. I may be wrong, but I see that there is quite a valid interpretation. All of you I give you the relevant act. All right, all you can come to a conclusion of your own.
So does this mean the Sabah and Sarawak MPs are going to be talking in English from now on?
I can't speak. No. The whole thing is that, you see, it doesn't mean that, okay, we have the right, we must exercise it. We can choose to speak in Bahasa. We can choose to speak in English. But don't diminish or don't erode our rights. All right, the Sarawak's right has been eroded all this while. We are one of the 3 regions. Now we are reduced to one of the 13 states. Okay, even the Constitution that was amended, it was Malaysia is formed initially at the beginning of the Malaysia. The Constitution provides at the formation of Malaysia, Malaysia is shall constitute Federation of Malaya, the Malaya states. Sabah, Sarawak. At that time, Singapore came out. All right. Somehow along the way, it was converted into the Federation of Malaysia shall constitute all the 13 states. You see, the status has been reduced. Our rights have been reduced, gradually eroded gradually. I think that is not right. All right, so it is about time that we uphold this constitutional position. Okay. All right, any question more? All right, thank you.